Chosen one, this isn't just a twist of fate. It's justice in motion. You were betrayed, humiliated, and left to clean up the emotional wreckage alone, while they walked away smiling like they won something. But here's the thing they never saw coming. When you destroy something pure, something protected by the universe, it creates a ripple that eventually slaps back harder than the original hit. It doesn't matter how clever they thought they were. When betrayal is the weapon, investigation becomes the echo. Imagine setting fire to someone's life, then trying to pretend you're just enjoying the warmth. That's exactly what your ex did. They sabotaged your peace, turned people against you, and acted like they were the victim. But the universe doesn't just let that slide. You see, fire might burn fast, but smoke always lingers. And guess what? That smoke is finally trailing straight to their doorstep. Reports, investigations, eyes watching. They thought they got away, but now they're running out of exits. Here's a fact that should make you sit up straight. Studies have found that individuals who deliberately manipulate and betray others are 60% more likely to engage in behaviors that eventually bring legal or moral consequences. Why? Because when someone lies that easily, they don't stop. They just get messier. And when someone betrays with no conscience, they don't learn, they escalate. That's when the universe steps in with a correction, and correction is rarely soft. And thank you, chosen one. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing the like and subscribe to help spread this truth to more souls. It's our shared responsibility to keep the light alive in a world full of shadows. Your energy, your strength, and your story are all part of something bigger. This is more than a message. It's a movement. Thank you for being part of this force. Now back to what matters, because the truth is catching up fast. This wasn't just a bad breakup or a toxic relationship. This was a calculated takedown. Your ex didn't leave you with respect. They tried to destroy your name on their way out. They didn't just betray you in private. They turned it into a show. They aligned with people who fed off gossip and bitterness. They made you a storyline in their sad little drama, hoping your fall would make their image rise. But you stood still, stayed silent, and let the universe take notes. And now, those notes are evidence. You see, when people try to bury you, what they're really doing is digging their own grave. All the lies they told, the fake stories they spread, and the manipulations they used, they leave fingerprints. They leave traces in text messages, in conversations, in things they once boasted about. And the universe has a funny way of collecting all those scattered pieces and presenting them at the exact right moment. Here's another brutal truth. Over 70% of manipulative individuals repeat the same patterns in new connections. And guess what that means? They never stopped their behavior after you. They simply shifted their game to new victims. And when enough people report smoke, someone finally looks for the fire. That's why the energy around them feels heavy right now, why their name is starting to raise eyebrows, why certain doors are beginning to close without explanation. It's not paranoia, it's consequence. They betrayed someone with a clean heart, and that comes with a price. You didn't curse them, you didn't retaliate, you just moved forward. But balance always returns. That's the law of the universe. And what hurts them even more, you didn't crumble. They left you thinking you'd be broken, desperate, chasing after them, trying to fix what they smashed. But you did the one thing they never expected. You healed, quietly, powerfully. They checked your page expecting to see a mess, but saw progress instead. They asked around hoping to hear you failed, but heard whispers of your glow-up. That's why their guilt is louder now, because nothing haunts a betrayer like watching the person they tried to destroy stand taller than ever. So when the investigation started, whether spiritual, emotional, or literal, it wasn't random. It was earned. It was timed. It was inevitable. Because the universe may not always speak in thunder, but it always speaks in patterns. And right now, those patterns are closing in on your ex. Their fake charm, fading, their lies, collapsing, their mask, slipping. They're sweating under the very spotlight they once used to shame you. And don't be surprised if they reach out soon, apologizing, deflecting, or playing the victim. That's what people do when they feel the heat. But you owe them nothing, not your attention, not your forgiveness, just peace. Because the moment you stopped responding, their karma started forming. And now that it's active, no one can protect them, not even the people they once manipulated. Chosen one, what you're feeling now isn't revenge, it's release. That sense of weight lifting off your spirit, that's justice. That quiet inner knowing that something's shifting behind the scenes, that's confirmation. You're not crazy for feeling like their life is unraveling. You're not imagining the strange energy surrounding them. When someone hurts a chosen one, the universe becomes their shadow, watching, waiting, ready. So keep your head up, keep your energy clean. Because while they're being investigated, you're being elevated. While they're explaining themselves to people behind closed doors, you're being talked about in rooms you haven't even entered yet. That's the shift. That's the reversal. That's the karma. You didn't just survive the betrayal, you outgrew it. You didn't just move on, you leveled up. And now, the same ex who mocked your silence is being silenced by the consequences of their own choices. Let the universe do what it does. The truth is working in your favor. And this is just the beginning. Stay alert, stay grounded, and stay chosen, because your light just exposed everything they tried to hide. And chosen one, thank you for being right here, exactly where the truth finds you. What's coming next is deep, layer by layer. We're going to uncover how your betrayal set off a chain reaction they never expected. So don't move just yet. If you've ever questioned whether karma was real, you're about to see how it hits. Slow, sharp, and without mercy. Drop 777 in the comments if you know this exposure was long overdue. And if this message speaks to your soul, fuel this mission with a super thanks, because every bit of support keeps this light alive. Whether it's a cent or 100, it all drives the truth forward. And now, let's break this open step by step. Stay with me, because if you've really been betrayed, you won't want to miss a single piece of what's coming next. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. They set the trap, now they're caught in it. The most dangerous game is thinking you'll never get caught while playing with someone who was sent to survive everything you tried to destroy. They laughed, didn't they? Thought they had it all figured out, played you like a toy, tossed your love aside like trash, and walked away thinking they'd never face a consequence. But, oh, chosen one, look what's happening now. The same ex who tried to rewrite your story with lies is now being read by people who don't miss details. Professionals, eyes that see beyond the surface, voices that don't fall for charm. These aren't your emotional enemies. These are investigators, quiet, cold, and calculated, and they're picking apart your ex's trail piece by piece. You see, the way they once studied your emotions to manipulate you, that same scrutiny is now being turned back on them, only this time, it's not for love, it's for exposure. This isn't just karma whispering. This is justice kicking the door down. Every dark little secret they thought would stay buried, it's surfacing. Every text they deleted, every shady deal they made behind closed doors, every person they used and discarded, now it's on record. That mask they wore so well, it's cracking under the heat of the truth. Let's be clear, they thought they were untouchable, thought they could play the role of the puppet master, pulling strings while you suffered. But what happens when the puppeteer becomes the puppet? When their strings are now in the hands of forces bigger than them, forces trained to watch, track, and destroy deception from the inside out. That's what's happening, and they're panicking. You might ask, why now? Why is the universe exposing them now after all the damage they did? Because timing is a weapon. The universe waits until your ex is comfortable, settled, thinking they're in the clear. And then, boom, the lights come on, the walls start closing in, and their past starts screaming through the cracks they tried to seal. They thought they could light a fire and walk away untouched, but fire doesn't negotiate. Fire consumes, and now they're coughing on the smoke of their own betrayal. There's a certain irony here that stings deeper than any revenge. They burned your trust, set fire to your name, played mind games with your peace. But now, they're not even the main character anymore. They're a case file, a folder, a problem to be solved by people who don't care about their sob stories. Your name? It's not even in the dirt anymore. It's clean. But theirs? It's under a magnifying glass, and it's burning. That's the brutal beauty of universal balance. While they were celebrating your breakdown, they were unknowingly setting the stage for their own. And now, chosen one, your only job is to keep watching, because this show has just begun. Chapter 2. Their lies just became evidence. Now they're choking on the truth. You can outrun a rumor, but you can't outrun a record. Truth doesn't knock twice. It kicks the door in when it's ready. They called it drama. Now it's called documented. The mouth that lied the most is now the one staying shut in interviews. Chosen one, let's be brutally clear. You were never crazy. You were never dramatic. You weren't delusional, and you weren't bitter. You were right. They just weren't ready for the kind of truth that leaves no room to hide. You tried to speak out, to warn others, to explain the pain, but every time you opened your mouth, they laughed, called you emotional, said you were making things up. But now the same truth they tried to bury is coming back. Not as a story, but as proof. Imagine being mocked for crying while someone destroys your reputation, and then watching that same person try to explain themselves when confronted by people holding evidence. Imagine being told, let it go, stop talking about it, move on, while they continued their campaign of lies in silence. And now those lies are being dissected line by people who don't care about their charm. It's not personal anymore, it's procedural. And that's what scares them the most. This is where karma becomes paperwork. They played the game thinking it would stay emotional, thinking it would stay in the shadows, thinking that if they gaslit you hard enough, you'd question your own reality. But here's the thing, you didn't just survive. You documented, you remembered, you trusted your gut. And while you were healing, the truth was growing teeth behind the scenes, because lies might spread fast, but facts stick. You ever wonder why they went so hard to discredit you? Why they worked overtime trying to paint you as unstable? Because the truth you carried was a threat to the mask they wore. And deep down, they knew if even a sliver of what you said reached the right ears, it would be game over. So they smeared your name to keep theirs clean. And now, look, your words, the ones they called crazy, are being quoted, filed, time-stamped. What was once just drama is now official documentation. Imagine watching the same people who ignored your pain now whisper behind closed doors about what they saw. Imagine seeing texts you once cried over now printed in reports, screenshots, voice notes, testimonies. Energy doesn't lie, chosen one. And when enough people feel it, when patterns repeat, when timelines line up, when too many victims start speaking the same way, it becomes undeniable. You may ask, why now? Why is the universe pulling back the curtain now when it should have happened long ago? Because sometimes the truth takes its time on purpose. The longer the lie lives, the deeper it traps the liar. They had their chance to come clean. They had their chance to admit fault. Instead, they kept adding layers. More deceit, more manipulation, more betrayal. And now, it's all caving in at once. The fall is always harder when the lies have been standing too tall for too long. Metaphorically speaking, they built a castle out of sand, polished it, decorated it, and invited the world inside. But what they didn't expect was the tide. The tide of truth doesn't announce itself. It comes quietly, steadily, until one day, everything they built is swept away in seconds. And while they scream that it's unfair, everyone else is just reading the signs you saw a long time ago. Another one for you. Imagine someone planting fake flowers in their yard just to look good. Plastic, shiny, perfect from a distance. But once the sun hits them long enough, the colors fade, the plastic cracks, and people realize they never had anything real to offer. That's your ex, a walking illusion that finally got exposed by the light of your truth. And yes, you may be wondering, will they ever admit what they did? No, probably not. People like this rarely confess. But here's what matters: they no longer need to. The investigation is louder than their denial. They can deny, deflect, play victim, but it doesn't matter. Because now, it's not about opinions, it's about evidence. And you, chosen one, are being vindicated without even having to say another word. This is deeper than closure. This is divine-level justice without needing to beg for it. You didn't have to scream, prove, or convince. You just had to endure. And now the universe is delivering what you couldn't chase. The lies that once made you question your worth are now being cross-examined. The betrayal that once broke your heart is now the rope tightening around their own credibility. And guess what else? This is just the beginning, because once the truth starts to rise, it doesn't stop at one person. It spills, it moves, it finds others. People who once supported them start distancing themselves. People who once doubted you start connecting dots. Even people who stayed silent now find themselves uncomfortable because the truth doesn't just reveal liars, it exposes the ones who clapped for them too. So, chosen one, breathe. This moment is heavy, but it's sacred. You are not watching karma, you're watching alignment. Your pain is being converted into clarity. Your silence is becoming a storm in their life. You didn't need revenge. You didn't need to stoop to their level. All you needed was patience, and the universe did the rest. Let them squirm. Let them backtrack. Let them try to twist the story one more time. It won't matter, because now they're not dealing with your emotions. They're dealing with evidence. And evidence doesn't flinch when someone cries. Evidence doesn't care about fake tears. Evidence just is. So hold your head high, watch it unfold. You earned this moment not by fighting dirty, but by staying clean. Let the lies burn themselves down. Let their own words be the fire that takes down everything they built. Because this time, you don't need to prove anything. The truth already has. Chapter 3. They played with fire, now they're screaming in the flames. The match they struck to burn you down just lit the fuse on their own downfall. They couldn't destroy your spirit, so they tried to scorch your reputation. They lit fires with their lies, hoping the smoke would blind everyone from seeing who you really were. But chosen one, fire has memory. And the one thing they forgot is this: the flames don't care who started them. They spread, they consume, And right now, those flames are dancing at their feet, burning through the illusions they built. They thought you'd collapse under the heat, but you didn't. You walked through it, ash-covered, exhausted, but undefeated. And while you were rebuilding silently, they were fanning the fire with their ego, thinking karma was too slow to catch up. But now, it's here, and it's not knocking softly. The same blaze they sparked to ruin you is now turning everything around them to rubble. You ever wonder why it's all falling apart for them at once? Why people are finally questioning their version of the story? Because the universe collects receipts. What looked like random chaos is actually perfect design. The investigation isn't just about evidence, it's about exposure. It's about justice stepping into the room they thought they locked from the inside. So drop "justice served" in the comments if you feel that shift, because the fire they set for you is now the one they can't escape from. Chapter 4. They declared war, not love, and now they're losing it. They didn't break up with you, they broke into your soul and tried to rob your peace. Let's call it what it really was. They didn't just leave, they didn't quietly walk away. No, they launched a full-blown emotional assault. A silent war masked as romance. They smiled in your face while planning your breakdown. What you thought was love was actually a calculated ambush, and you were the target from the beginning. That's not a failed relationship. That's psychological warfare. Imagine inviting someone into your heart, only for them to take your trust and turn it into a weapon. They didn't just hurt you. They enjoyed watching you suffer, laughed at your healing, mocked your pain, spread your vulnerabilities like rumors, just to feel powerful. That's not heartbreak. That's cruelty in disguise. And here's the twist. They truly believed they got away with it, thought karma was just a story told by the weak to feel better. But chosen one, karma doesn't blink. Karma doesn't forget. Karma doesn't miss a name. It waits. And now, the bill has arrived with interest. Every tear they mocked, every lie they told, every dagger they twisted with a smirk. It's being returned, piece by piece. They declared war on the wrong one, and now the universe is making sure they feel every wound they thought they left behind. Chapter 5. They fed on control. Now they're starving for it. Power built on manipulation always collapses under its own lies. Chosen one, it was never love. It was never even connection. What they craved wasn't your heart. It was your submission. Control was their drug, and you were the supply. Every guilt trip, every mind game, every silent treatment was just another fix. They didn't want partnership. They wanted dominance. They wanted to feel like gods in a world where their own insecurities ruled them. But when control becomes addiction, withdrawal becomes destruction. And that's exactly what they're going through now. Imagine someone holding a mirror to your face every day, trying to convince you your reflection was broken, just so you'd rely on them to define your worth. That's how deep their manipulation ran. They drained you emotionally to feed their ego, convinced they were powerful because they could make you doubt yourself. But here's the truth. Strong people empower. Weak people control. And nothing exposes weakness faster than losing the person they couldn't dominate. You may wonder, why did they want control so badly? Because chaos is all they've ever known. They can't handle genuine love. It terrifies them. So they replace it with control, because control feels safer than vulnerability. But control built on lies always burns out, and now that same fire is